everybody, this is Danny with Legendary Muscle, and today I'm here with my good friend Derek and his 97 Mustang GT. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So I already know Derek from Hooters car shows here in Ocala, and I came to learn that he doesn't only take his car there, he actually organizes the whole thing. And I know you guys got a lot of following because I see that on your web pages and whatnot. You know, how did you come across doing that car show?
It was literally something we threw together. About 3 years ago, the new manager at Hooters, his name was Jimmy. He came in. He wanted to do a car show. I worked with his brother. He asked his brother, like, who's the car guy in town, and I was pretty much the only car guy he knew. So Jimmy and I got together. We started talking about it. I worked for Phillips Chrysler. They jumped in to sponsor the thing. Okay. And we just kind of made it up as we went along and started the show, and it's turned out phenomenal.
You guys just completed 3 years of that, right?
Yes. This March was our 3-year anniversary show.
And
yeah.
I know when I go there now, I see the parking lot. It's full. That parking lot is like full from front, back, sides, and everything. Was it always like that? Or
no, when we started, it was just that small section right in front of the restaurant. We actually weren't even allowed to use the parking lot next to us.
Okay.
And we originally started the show at 11 o'clock. Now we pushed it up to 10 because I get there at 8:30 to set up, and half the parking lot's full when I get there to set up. So we ended up just starting the show earlier because everybody was there by 9 o'clock anyway.
Oh, shoot. So you guys get a pretty good turnout. And that's what, every second Sunday of the month?
Yes, every second Sunday from 10 to 1.
Okay. So the car has a unique color for me. I love this blue. It kind of reminds me sort of like Richard Petty, something in that NASCAR.
Yeah, it's actually a 70s Ford color called Grabber Blue.
Okay. And what did this start off with? Because I know it wasn't this color when you got it.
No, definitely not. This car was originally crystal white. It was a 97 GT with a 2-valve 4.6 liter.
So, I mean, how long have you had this car?
This was actually originally my dad's car.
Okay.
He got it in 2000. I ended up getting the car from him in 2002, my senior year of high school.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, there's definitely a lot of history, and the fact that this car is still intact in one piece.
Yeah.
Me getting this car in high school and the things that I did to this car. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like it, but it has probably close to 260,000 miles.
Oh, wow. That's quite a bit. So, being that said, I saw one picture on Facebook that you were working on the car. It was your dad, and then you also had one with your son.
Yes.
Helping you fix the car. So that's like already 3 generations.
Yeah, three generations. I have 2 sons. My oldest now is 15, and the youngest is 8, and both of them have had their hands on this car.
Oh, wow. That's great.
So, yeah, 3 generations in it.
So, looking at the engine right here, you said the chassis has like 200 and something thousand miles on it. Obviously, you've already gone through a couple engines. This is not a 4.6.
No, definitely not.
How many engines did you actually go through on this car?
I think this is the 4th engine that's been in this car. The 3rd different setup, but 4th engine that's been in it.
So what engines were it? I know we know it's the 4.6.
Yeah.
After that,
started out with the GT 4.6. After about the 220,000 mile mark of being raced almost every weekend and taken out and played with, the original engine kind of threw in the towel and said it had enough.
Oh.
So we ended up getting a 98 Cobra engine, which is still a 4.6, but it's a dual overhead cam. That went into the car. At the time that went in the car, we went ahead and did some chassis and suspension work on it as well.
Okay.
Played with it again, and
so transmission-wise, this is a 5-speed. Is that the original?
Believe it or not, yes, it's actually still the original transmission in the car. It's been gone through twice. Okay. But it is still the original transmission.
So it married up with all those other engines.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. Wow. Everything bolted right up.
That's awesome. Now, you were talking about suspension. What kind of suspension work do you have on this car?
It's a QA1 tubular K-member, tubular A-arms, basically anything weight-wise that wasn't needed in the front end of the car is gone. Okay. It's a coilover setup on the front with Lakewood 70/30 struts. Gotcha. Which helps pick the front end of the car up. Yep. I didn't want to go too radical to where it was undrivable, but yeah. Weld-in subframe connectors, bunch of suspension work in the back. And you got, okay, you mentioned about the brakes on this, so
how does this car handle on? Because I feel that since you messed around with the suspension, you must be able to tighten up on the curves a little bit more, or
With that big of a tire on the back and that small of a tire
Yeah.
on the front, cornering's not really an option.
No.
Yeah, go straight nice though.
Okay. Now, speaking of straight, did you take it to the track already to test it out, or
In this configuration, no. This engine's only been in the car. We just got it done back in October. It's just on a base tune to make it safe to drive. As soon as we get the final tune on the car, it's definitely going to the track.
Yeah, you've got some wide tires in the back.
Yes.
What size are those tires?
They're 325s. They took a little bit of convincing to get in there. Convincing is massaging with an air hammer in a couple spots.
Right on. Man, so you know what? I think the only thing that's left over is for us to take a ride.
Yeah.
You want it?
Are you sure you want to do that?
I mean,
yeah. Life insurance good?
I think so. We got life insurance? I'm good then.
Oh, we're set, man.
Yep, let's go.
Let's do it.
I appreciate you taking us for a ride.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, hey, you were telling me about like how you would do stuff when you had the car when you were in high school. What was the most craziest thing you did with this car while you were at the very beginning?
We did a lot of less than legal racing in this car on the weekends. And there was one night in a very undisclosed location, professional camera crew, and it was roads were closed and all that good stuff. It had rained earlier in the day, and we got out there, and the guy that was organizing everything, he's like, we were kind of on the fence of whether or not we were going to run that night, and he's like, your car has probably the hardest time hooking up, so you make a test pass, and if your car hooks, we're good to go. I'm like, sound logic. I can't argue with that. So I go out, do the burnout, get the car staged up, launch it, get all the way down to the end. I'm turning around. Obviously this is at nighttime. My whole inside of my car lights up. Ground, everything around me just lights up. And I just happen to look out the window, and there's a helicopter hovering over top of me. Yeah. So, needless to say, I had to do some dry cleaning on this seat afterwards. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, do I run? Do I sit here? What do I do? I'll just sit here. Well, about that time, I see everybody else down at the other end. Lights turn on, cars scattering like cockroaches. Spotlight goes off of me and towards them, and without even hesitation, reversed, hit the headlight switch, threw the lights off through the car in reverse, and went flying.
There you go.
I'm gonna take it off, and next thing I see the light kind of come back looking for me, but then they went and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to the gas station, and we're gonna call this a night.
Oh man, that must have been so funny. You got home. I bet your heart was racing.
Oh yeah. My one good buddy of mine, his birthday's on 4th of July, and the year he turned 21, he never drank. So we decided to get him really hammered.
It's the friendly thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. So we told him we were going to take him to this girl's house, and it was actually my ex-girlfriend. We get to the house and they're having a party. So I shut the lights off, kind of put the car to a coast, and tell him he's got to climb out the window. So he climbs out the window, falls flat on his face getting out of the car. He's walking up the driveway, and you can see everybody kind of like out on the porch, and he's just like stumbling in the dark. I turn the car on, throw the headlights on, do this hellacious burnout in their driveway to get everybody's attention, throw it in reverse, turn around, and just took off down the road and left them.
Oh man. Oh wow. So is this the hood scoop you got, like crawl induction?
Yes, it's
functional.
Yeah, it's modeled after the '95 Cobra R.
Okay.
Pretty much everything on this car, as far as like appearance wise, has come out of a story. The way I got the hood, actually had a guy in like an old C10 truck, was headed to the gym, and he pulled out right in front of me, and I had nowhere to go, just locked it down. I ended up going underneath of his door and tearing up the stock hood. So the car's mine, it's paid for, so just took the insurance money. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna buy a cool hood. The rear wing on the car is a Celine S351 wing.
Okay.
After my dad had retired, he was buddy of his had a junkyard, and that was kind of like his thing, just going around and rummaging through old cars. Well, I was there visiting him, and they ended up getting this, I think it was like an older T-Bird, and it had that wing on the back of it.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah, my dad's like, well, that looks weird. I'm like, that's a freaking Celine wing. Why is there a Celine wing on a T-Bird? And my dad had a 5 Series BMW at the time. He's like, that would look really cool on my car. I think I'm going to go put it on mine. So he goes over there, he pulls it off the car it was on, and he starts taping it up. I'm sitting there, I'm like, are you freaking serious right now? Like I've got a Mustang, and you're going to put this wing on a Beamer.
Right.
So he goes and starts messing around. He's like, no, I was just messing with you. I planned on giving it to you. I'm like, man, that's messed up.
Okay, that is messed up. Well, I mean, your car is really clean, dude. To be honest with you, I don't like those cars they just got too much fiberglass going on, you know?
Yes, yeah.
And this one's very clean, smooth. I mean, it is a good car. What is your plans for this car in the future? I mean, do you think about doing any more mods to the engine? Are you going to put another engine in it? I mean,
hopefully this is the last engine that's going to go in there. If this one breaks, we'll just rebuild it. When the last motor let go, when I first did this paint job, my initial vision for the car was the Coyote Swap it. Back in 2011, when the Coyote motor came out, Ford brought this color back, the Grabber Blue from the 70s, to go on the Coyote, and I just thought it was an amazing setup. And when I came up with this paint job, I'm like, that would be the thing to do. But at that time,
now
you couldn't even touch these motors in a junkyard for less than $6,000.
Wow.
And it just wasn't feasible or financially possible for me at the time to do it. When the last motor let go, or before it let go, when the had issues with that and pulled the motor out, that's when we decided to go ahead and change the color and go with this paint job. That's where that picture came from, of my dad and my son actually sitting there sanding the car down.
Okay.
This entire build was pretty much done in my garage at the house, between my dad, my buddy Chris that helps me run the Hooters show. He had a lot of hands. There were a lot of hands in the different setups in this car.
Gotcha. So you were telling me about, did you get the paint scheme off of Forza, was it?
Yeah, actually playing Xbox on Forza with my son, there's a lot of customization and different things you can do with the cars. And I originally came up with the Grabber Blue paint, and this is actually a second version of this paint job. We did it completely Grabber Blue with no black at all. Okay. And as soon as the sun hit it, it looked like a friggin' Smurf. I mean, it almost looked animated. It didn't even look like a real car anymore. And just playing around on there, I started messing around and came up with the two-tone job, and then running the line down the hood and through the front bumper. And right out of high school, I worked in a paint and body shop. And the guy that I worked with, his name's Dave Stark. I went to go see him, and I basically screenshotted what I had from the game on my phone, and I said, hey, what do you think about this? And he's like, dude, I love it, let's do it.
Nice.
So next thing you know, the car was loaded up and took it to his house, and he has his own paint shop that he runs from his house, and he's actually the one that painted this car, and he did a phenomenal freaking job on it.
Yeah, he did a great job on it. So that's kind of cool how you use the video game to get your preview of your car.
Yeah. So, kids, if your parents tell you not to play video games, play the video game.
Exactly.
You do some cool stuff.
Yep. That's that Coyote right there screaming. Oh, yeah, your exhaust sounds great, man. So, you were telling me about your dad?
Yeah, so he did most of the body work on the car with my oldest son. We got started on this Coyote Swap project, and the project took a few more years than I would have liked it to, dealing with a lot of things. My mom passed. My dad didn't handle it very well. He was already sick beforehand, and unfortunately in December of last year he passed before we actually could get this thing finished.
Oh, wow.
So
this car is even more dear to you than
yeah, than
anything.
just just something
Oh yeah,
about.
man. Well, this has been great.
Oh yeah, it's been awesome.
I appreciate you you taking the time and just being just a great guy and actually putting all the effort into your car show and everything, because you really bring everybody together. And I know that at the car show that you do, I mean, everybody's there from imports to Euro cars.
Yeah,
to
and
muscle
that's
cars.
what I love about that show the most is it's a little bit of everything. It's not just American cars. It's not just imports. It's not. You've got.
If you're a car guy, you got to like all walks of
Yeah,
life in
exactly.
cars, right?
And it's all car cultures share the parking lot together. You have imports. You have lowriders. You have drag cars. You've got just cruisers, muscle cars. Like everybody's there sharing the same parking lot together, and everybody gets along.
Yeah.
And we try to have just a relaxed atmosphere. We joke around. We goof off. None of it's perfect. None of it's scripted. We're just there hanging out, and I think that's what everybody enjoys about the show the most. That it's just somewhere to hang out.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, everybody, our time is over. So, from Derek and Danny, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you liked it, and
Like it, love it, subscribe to it.
Yep, heard the
Awesome
man.
guys, man.
And well, we'll see you next time.
Just proof that he cheats.
Yeah, right?
Nope. I used to do that at school too.
Yeah.
I'd like put them inside my sock and
Nice.
bring them out.
Oh yeah.
Hey everybody, this is Danny from Legendary Muscle, and today I'm here with Eric and his 97 Ford Mustang. Thanks for coming over, Eric.
Who's Eric?
Eric. Hey everybody, this is Danny with Legendary Muscle, and today I'm here with my good friend Derek and his 97 Mustang.
Thanks, Donnie. Yeah, say how do you like it?
Okay, touche. Okay.
Game face.
Game face. Game face. Maximum effort. You got water? Kind of hungover too.
Ah.
Yeah. Oh, on camera. Shit.
Yeah.
I had a good one last night.
I still got a buzz going, so I'll get to hungover later.